Hey guys, Coach Ezel here. I'm going to go through our PowerPoint from our parent meeting on September 9th, Friday, September 9th. We met at 5:30 in the Mac building. So I'm going to run through the PowerPoint really quick. It's going to be a fast version, so if you weren't able to make it, no problem at all. You'll get all the information that you need here. So let's get into full screen and get going. So to start off, our mission here at Lipscomb Academy, you signed your child up to attend Lipscomb for a primary reason because we're a Christian environment with Christ-centered, and that goes the same for our softball program. We want high caliber players, strong academic performance, and then character development. We want to grow our young ladies into being, godly ladies who love Christ, to make Him known in their lives and also other people's lives that they come across. So our goals: to grow spiritually, mentally, and physically, develop skills at a high competitive level for a high school softball player, and then build a program of elite softball back into Lipscomb. So this year and actually since I've been here over the 3 years, we're building a holistic care model. I believe that you don't just grow athletes on the field. There's a lot of things that go off the field, at home, at school, that really encompass the entire athlete. So Lipscomb's theme this year is Faith Discovered, but there's a overall arching theme, and mind, body, and soul. So you're going to hear that and see that a lot on campus, but that kind of ties in directly with what we're doing in softball. Mentally, physically, spiritually, but also socially, and their school life. All of that encompasses what they do in their performance on the field. So looking at the first idea, here we're looking at sports therapy. So we're partnering with Lipscomb University's Family Therapy Department. And what's going to happen is we're currently scheduling dates, but they will come and speak to the girls about a variety of topics. Some you see listed here. Now, what's important is if any of these topics arise, any other things, you know as well as I do, they don't always talk to their coaches, they don't always talk to their parents, they may stifle feelings and emotions and don't know how to vent or to get those out. So our family therapy department at Lipscomb is phenomenal. I've talked to Dr. Briggs on multiple occasions, and he is really, really supportive of having the softball team be connected to the family department. So um, I think this will be a great addition to what we're already doing, and you'll hear more information and dates and times, etc., as we get closer to the time those will be happening. But it will be span out through the course of the year, starting in the fall and ending in spring. So also going on the mental preparation, Mr. Scott Hamilton, the Olympic gold medalist figure skater, will be coming to us to talk. He actually has a second grader at the elementary school, and he'll be there on Wednesday, September 21st. Location still to be determined, but I listened to a book that he was mentioned in called Mind Gym, and it was phenomenal on how Mr. Hamilton prepared mentally for the Olympics, knowing that he was a shorter guy at 5'2" or 5'3", and it was an underdog, and how he prepared mentally to beat the media, to beat the hype. I think that'll be a great story for not only the girls to hear, but we would like to invite parents to attend as well. So Habitat Yoga, just met Ashley Drennan, the owner and instructor of Habitat Yoga, not too long ago, but we will implement some yoga into our program this year. That may be an individual fee to attend that, but it'll be minimal, $20 to $25 minimal fee, and Ashley will come over and instruct our girls. And yoga really drives a multiple areas of growth. Obviously, first and foremost in my mind is yoga, and I tie that in with meditation, and meditation often leads to prayer. So yoga can develop us spiritually, but also physically and mentally as well. So I'm really excited to get Habitat Yoga on board with us. So our devotional time this year, we really want that to be every day, whether it's in team prayer, individual prayer, our team devotionals, whether or not we're service learning or our outreach, if we're doing some mission something somewhere. We want to strengthen our relationship with Christ, but we want to show others and make Christ known to others, and that's part of our mission. And our relationship with Christ is the most vital part of our game. What we do on the field, off the field, at home, doesn't matter. It's the most important part. So as you see down below, we're going to talk a lot about faith discovered or faith rediscovered a lot this year in our team devotional times, as it is the theme for the spiritual formation theme for the school year this year. So nutrition. We've partnered with the Lipscomb University Nutrition and Kinese Department for the last 2 years. It'll be the same thing this year. We'll have 4 meetings through the course of the year, but this is also an avenue the girls have where if they have some nutrition questions, they can come to me and say, hey, do you think the nutrition people can help me with this, whatever said thing is. It's basically just a resource for the girls to ask questions. And these are nutritionists and dietitians, so they would definitely be able to help us. And I'm really, really excited to have softball specific or athletic specific nutrition tips for athletes in high school. That's a huge, huge thing. Not many places have that at all. So Elite, our physical care, Elite takes great care of all of our athletes. Ken is around. He comes to as many softball games as he can. There's a lot of stuff going on in the spring, but you'll definitely see him in our dugouts if you haven't already. He's an African American man, and he'll be in and out. He comes as much as he can, but they do a great, great job of taking care of us in sports medicine. Dr. Elrod and Elite have actually opened a facility right down the road from the university, so they're really close. So really consider utilizing those services if and when injury happens. Lastly, all the forms will be done September 12th, so they're all online, and we're actually going to talk about that next. For the forms, you'll do online, no need to print. You just fill them out. You actually will do an electronic signature and then submit those. The last form is the physical form, and that one you'll have to print, get it signed by a physician, return to Sportswear, which is the online program, and upload it, and then Ken will actually sign off on that, so online. So he'll take care of all that for us, and that's due the week of September 12th. So these are 2 links. Sportswear injury tracking software. That is the link to the website, and then the Sportswear video tutorial. That's going to be a YouTube video that I created to help guide you through sportswear and how to collect documents and add documents, etc. So that should help you as you look to start finishing those documents and getting everything set up. Okay, so here's a quick look at sportswear. So you'll see up on the top left on the black bar, My Info, Medical History, Forms, and Print. So the first one would be My Info. You click on there and fill out those slides. It's going to be information similar to what you see now. At the top you see the black tabs. You want to fill out everything, all of those tabs, and then anything that has a red asterisk beside it. That means it's required, so let's go ahead and fill those out. You do your address, your emergency information, insurance. You actually scan a copy of your card or upload it through taking a picture on your phone and upload it through your computer, and then your medical history. That's important for me to know. Allergies will be covered in that section, so if we're on the road and there's a reaction, I'll know what it is and we can take care of that. Or when we're on road games and moms make meals, it would be nice for them to know if we had a peanut allergy. So it's just a quick, easy reference for me and the moms. Okay, and this is the general history page. If you answer yes to any of these, put a little comment there beside it. If you answer no, just keep on rolling. And then lastly, this is the attachments page. Like we talked about before, the general release, the sudden cardiac arrest, the consent form, and concussion form will all be completed on here. There's no need to print. You'll e-sign those and keep those documents and they'll be done. The physical exam there on the bottom will be one you want to print, take to your doctor, and return and upload back into Sportswear. So to actually access the document, you want to click on Select on the left, and then click Open, and that'll open up the document and you can continue on from there. So Monday, September 12th, will be our first practice. That's the Monday following our parent meeting, and that first day will run 3:25 to 4:30, and that'll be a pretty consecutive time. Very often, if we have a guest speaker or something else happens, we may run over a little bit, but I'm going to try to stay as close to 4:30 and get those girls out and home so they can study quickly. The first day we'll be doing arm care, agilities, plyometrics, getting a little bit of soreness started and getting that out through the course of the fall and winter. We'll also be looking at our numbers, maybe doing a couple of jobs around the field, but nothing too much. Primarily getting those numbers assigned early. So here's a quick look at the schedule, Monday through Friday, with Wednesday and Friday being off days. We'll crank up the intensity closer we get. Actually, we will crank up the intensity closer we get to spring, but you can kind of see an idea of what each day is going to look like. So on Tuesdays, if it's nice and pretty, we may get out a couple times and do some inner squads. That's like basically a glorified scrimmage between ourselves. And if it's rainy and nasty, we'll get inside and get a good study hall and help that academic score. Okay, so here's what the locations would be like. So we're in the weight room. That's below the high school gyms. Most of the girls know where those are. If they don't, they're going to want to tag up with another girl, and they can show them where that is. And the field, obviously, the field is behind the elementary school campus. And Tuesday, we would, like I just said, in the fall, if we can get outside and it's nice, we'll inter squad. When it gets cold, Kristen's room is 141 in Harding Hall, and that's where study halls will take place. So field work day, these are a couple of the jobs that I'd like to get done before the spring. So you'll be getting some more information about those. But just to clean up the field, make it look nice, and make sure we get ready so when we come back from Orlando, we'll be ready to go. So building our program, how can we build a program with limited budget and still see the growth that we want to see at our athletic facilities? So Lipscomb students are strictly prohibited from seeking funds for athletic facility or team development or growth. Lipscomb has a very strong stance on that. They give us an operational budget. It's smaller, but we do small things each year. But I'm talking something a bit larger, like the covering of our batting cage or the building of a concession stand on our field, or a press box rather. We want to be very careful when seeking funding. So the only way we can really pull funding or donors would be for parents to know, basically have connections. If your work has a company that may be interested in donating funds or a service, you definitely run that by me, and then I take it to the appropriate people at the high school, at the academy, and we definitely don't want to overload our donors. The folks that are donating to the MAC and to the Fine Arts Building and to hopefully the new campus in the future, we don't want to bog those folks down and keep asking for money. So make sure you run those by me. I'll be glad to set up a meeting. I'm also interested in setting up a small committee to be thinking and brainstorming of ideas and ways that we can bring in additional funding to our program. So you may have heard the rumor of Division II. So Lipscomb has a big decision coming up shortly where we will have to declare our decision to the TSSAA October 24th-ish. That's around about number. Um, but yes, we will be making a decision if we are going to stay Division One or continue as Division Two. Regardless of the decision, our district and our play will be different. As if we go Division Two, you can see how that'll impact us below. But if we stay Division One, I believe the private and public split would still happen. So we would not be competing in the same districts that we have been for the last several years. So um, just to give you a brief overview, you will definitely get more information about this from the athletic department, but this is kind of what you're looking at. Two divisions in Division 2, a bigger and a smaller. The number that separates the two is 450 students enrolled, and that's at the beginning of the school year. So at under 450, you're going to see the smaller schools, FCS, DCA, FCS is Friendship, Christ Pres, Ezel. Christ Pres is still on the fence, so we're not really sure where they'll fall. So I actually have them in both categories right now. 450 plus, you're going to see BA, Innsworth, Harpeth, Father Ryan. That's going to be Middle Tennessee, more than likely our district. So just to give you an idea of what that'll look like for us. So playing time. Playing time really needs to be discussed privately. I don't like talking about playing time outside where girls are around or other people, fans, other parents, whatever it is. Come to me. Let's set up a meeting privately and discuss it. You can text, you can email, you can come up to me after a game or a practice and say, hey, coach, do you mind setting up a meeting with me next week at 2 o'clock? I'd like to come talk to you about Susie's playing time. Well, absolutely, I'd love to. But conversations will not happen before practice, after a game, or before a game. My mind is not in the world of that conversation at that time. I'm thinking about either my practice plan or my game plan. So that's where my mind will be. Don't ask my assistant coaches, Chris, and whoever the other third coach would be. Don't ask them. The decision falls on my shoulders. I may consult Chris on what she thinks. I do often, but the final overall decision is my call. So if there's an issue, come see me. I'll gladly talk to you about it. So road games, what you see is an aerial shot of Granny White Church of Christ. Miss Barrett takes great care of us when we go on the road. I don't know at this point if we will be carpooling or in a van or bus. I'm assuming carpooling, which is what we did last year. So what happens is the girls dismiss from school. They hustle to the Star area, which is that front side of their parking lot over at Granny White. And Miss Barrett actually assigns them a car. So we need 4 to 5 parent volunteers each week, or each game, actually, road game, which this year we'll have more home, so it'll be nice. We'll take a little bit of pressure off, but we do need those drivers. And also there's a parent that prepares a quick meal for us to grab and go, and we do all of that in that parking spot there. So that'll happen right after school, usually around the very tail end of 7th period, 2:50, 2:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. We'll get on the road and head to our road games. So spring break, we are looking to travel to Orlando. We went last year. I feel like it was a great success. Unfortunately, we didn't come home with any victories, but I think everybody had a good time and definitely created some memories. So this year it's March 13th through the 17th. That's 5 days. We'll be there, and families are welcome to go the weekend prior or weekend after, or both weekends if you want to do that. Our hotel rates, which we'll talk about in just a minute, will continue through either of those weekends, so you still get that group discount. Some of the teams that we played last year and actually have on the books for this year, Bishop Moore Lake Highland, the First Academy. Of those 5, those are the 3 I have on the books right now. So 2 are still waiting More than likely, we'll only play 4 games, giving us a day to be tourists and do vacation stuff. So, um, really excited about this. I think it's going to be really fun. And let's take a look at the hotel we're staying at this year. So, Coco Key Water Resort. I think this is going to be a blast. I think the girls are going to have a great time. You can see the rooms, the arcade. There is a full-size indoor and outdoor water park. I think the girls are going to have a great time. Kids, parents. I just think this is going to be a neat adventure. So looking at the rate, we have a locked-in, tax-free, $130 a night. So it does not include breakfast, but pretty much everything else. There's several restaurants on their facility, on their campus, and for meals. But obviously you can travel off campus and off site to get your own meals. All the amenities they have listed there, and I think this is going to be a really fun trip. They gave us a phenomenal rate for a resort, and a resort located so centrally close to Orlando and all the fun things that are happening in Orlando while we're there. So Periscope. Actually, before I move on, let me go back on here. So for it to be tax-free, I'll actually be buying the rooms with my softball credit card. So what that'll look like is once you book your rooms, you'll say Smith will be staying there Monday through Friday. The resort will collect that list, and they will actually send that to me. So I'll see the Smith family is staying 5 nights, and they owe me 800 and whatever it ends up being, or 600 or whatever. They'll email that to me, and then families can pay me all the way from today through the day we go to Florida. So you'll be able to kind of flex pay that for all the way through. As long as I'm paid in full before we leave, then your room and board will be paid for. So all you have to worry about while we're there are meals. So Periscope. Periscope is a new piece of technology. With that gives us the ability, if Wi-Fi is there, to live stream our games, and that's important for Lipscomb families because a lot of families travel or parents for work. So if we have a dad, out of the state or a mom out of the country, we can have someone stream our games at home, maybe practices at home, and let people see from afar. So I need a volunteer for that. Would be interested to see who would be available to do that, but it's from your cell phone or tablet, and all it's as simple as downloading the app and you're ready to go. So media, a couple different sources of media or forms of media that we have. There's a Twitter and our website. I try to update the website daily. If I have the girls and we're practicing, I'll usually post our practice plan or the agenda for that day on the website. So this is going to, the rules for this year are going to be the girls are responsible for communicating to the parents where we're going to be and what time we're going to be done, and so they know, the parents, where to pick up their child. That's important. I don't feel like we had great communication last year. I'd like to better that just a little bit this year, so that it's going to be on the girls' shoulders to text you that morning before lunch and say, hey, we'll be finishing up at the softball field today at 4:30. Come pick me up then. And then lastly, my email address is down there for you, and you'll also see it in the end at the contact information. So with communication, kind of an extension to what we just talked about, we have a couple of different avenues. We have a GroupMe. We also text, and Miss Barrett has the big email blast that she sends out sometimes. And we also have the website and Twitter. So there are several different ways to know what's going on. But this year, in regards to texting, we don't want players texting us. That's Kristen or myself. texting us during school hours. There's no question that you need, if you have a dying question, you can ask for permission to call and call one of us, or ask a teacher if they would email us. But we're not going to be fielding text messages during the school day from students. Um, I don't really agree with that policy as being as lenient as the academy is, but it is what it is. So saying that, don't text us during the day. Also, girls that are visiting in Coach Chris's classroom, we want to stay out of there. That's her place to learn or to educate and to learn herself, but that's her place, her space. We're not going to bombard her classroom, so we want to keep that separation during school. Now, during softball, it's different. We want you in there, especially during study hall times, but we are going to keep that separation during school hours. This year, around 6 o'clock, I'm going to be turning off my phone. With my increase of job responsibilities at the elementary school, my emails have started to come in a lot faster. Things have just been filling up, so I've got to, at some point, say, I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to focus on my family, what it is I'm doing at home, if it's, whatever it is around the house. But 6 o'clock, I'm going to turn that phone off, and you may not get a reply to the next morning, so just know that. If I see something that's urgent that you sent, then more than likely I will reply. I'll use my discretion to reply to those, but just know, if you want to talk to me, call me before 6, because when I get home, I'm going to eat dinner, and I'm going to do family time, so hopefully everybody can respect that. So player wear this year is going to be a little bit different from hit after hit last year. They increased their minimum order number, so we didn't meet that criteria. So this year we're changing directions, and we're going to use Jay. Jay has a daughter, Ruby, and he's been around Lipscomb for a long time. He's had older kids. I think he still has some students at the middle school or high school. So how Jay works is he sets up a website. It's called your team sports shop or team website, and you enter that password. All I require you to have is a purple and gold shirt, and I would order a couple, at least 2 of each, just to, wash and have something to interchange. So they will wear either a purple or gold shirt for practice with their gray or black softball pants. We also require black shorts, so you may want to buy 2 pairs of those as well. All of the t-shirts are actually going to come back with a number. That number will be their jersey number, because we can wear them in a game as an alternate jersey. So not only are you buying them something to practice in, but we're going to turn around and wear them in games too. So it's kind of a dual purpose there. Cleats, so cleats that are acceptable, you can see on the left, we're going black, white, or purple. Cleats on the right are not okay. Pink, gray, anything off. Now, metal or plastic does not matter to me one bit. That's totally player preference. And lastly, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My cell phone you can see there, my email, and our Twitter. I love tweeting, so follow us on Twitter if you don't already, if that's something you do. I'm really excited about this year, growing the girls in the fall and the spring, or the fall and the winter, and then having a really good spring this spring. So we'll talk soon, and hopefully this video didn't bore you too bad, and have a great night. See ya.